quite a lively atmosphere, so we go to the Ramat Gan Stadium in Tel Aviv, the national stadium, for the first competitive meeting between these two. It's Israel and Croatia from Group E, England's group. Match commentators Tony Gale and Ian Dark.
Welcome to Tel Aviv, a city that's featured, of course, in 1,000 news bulletins in these troubled times in the Middle East. But football very much the focus tonight in Group E, a match between two unbeaten sides who are threatening England's qualification for the European Championships. Here's the team news for you. Israel, captained by West Ham's Yossi Benayoun, who plays despite a slight knee ligament tear. I'm not sure what Alan Pardew will make of that, with Chelsea coming up for West Ham on Saturday. Bolton's Tal Ben Haim and Idan Tal also play, along with the former Wimbledon man Walid Badir in midfield. There are 4 players from the current Israeli league leaders, Bitar Jerusalem. Croatia have to make 2 changes to the side who beat England. The keeper Pletakosa is ill, so Runya makes his international debut in goal at the age of 30. Also out with injury is Rapajic, the feisty player who gave Ashley Cole a few problems against England. That means Cerna returns from injury on the right to win his 41st cap. And this is the stadium, by the way, which will house the game against England on March the 24th. It holds something like 41,000 fans. Not completely full tonight, nearly full. Wonderful atmosphere, as you've been hearing. Spanish referee tonight, Eduardo Gonzalez, and both of these two sides believe that they have a serious chance of making it through this group. Remember, 4 teams locked on 7 points. And the surface, incidentally, one of the best I've ever seen. Agree, Tony?
Fantastic service, and in England we're going to be worried in March when they come. England, they've got no fears there. This is a very good pitch.
Israel, by the way, confirmed by the Israeli FA yesterday on £15,000 per man to qualify. And just to wind up England a bit further, some of the Israeli players have been saying in the build-up to this game that they believe Croatia are the best team in the group. And Israel in the blue kit, who've never qualified for the European Championship finals, getting us underway here. This is Badir, who used to play for Wimbledon about 7 seasons ago. He actually scored at Old Trafford as well against Manchester United. Going back a bit, mine.
Yeah, Badir just be sitting in front of the back 4 for Israel tonight, just being the anchor man in there. Just the one striker, Balaruti up front on his own. And I think they'll be looking at Yossi Benayoun to really get up and support him when they're in possession.
There's Slaven Bilic, who had plenty to say both before and after that England match. He's made a great start, it has to be said, unbeaten so far as the Croatian boss. This is spread wide to Zandberg, playing on the right-hand side. Benayoun, by the way, will have a free roll just behind the striker, so we understand anyway, the skipper. That's Modric looking to help it forward. Idan Tal with the header for Israel.
Croatia more going with 2 strikers in. I think that's the difference tonight. Petric and Eduardo up there, so they're going for it. There's no question about that. They should be able to really zip it about on this surface.
2 Italian-based defenders at the back there for Croatia, and Robert Kovac and Dario Simic, lots of experience. This is Simunic. Croatia in their very distinctive, almost Grand Prix flag style shirts, worn proudly by their travelling fans. They've got a few here as well. This is Niko Kovac looking to find a way through.
Just a good tackle in the middle of the midfield at the moment, and I think that's going to be a congested area between the 2 sides. You see Eduardo just sneaking out to this left-hand side at the start of the game. I wonder if they're just trying to counter Israel at the start before they decide to push him up front in support of Petric as well. But at the moment, just drifting out to this left-hand side, you'll notice. It's going to leave it very congested in the middle of the park. 3 on 3. very difficult to play, and your first touch has to be sure.
This is Siminic, the man who famously got the 3 yellow cards from Graham Poll. Sorry to keep reminding Mr. Poll about that. Croatians yet, by the way, to concede a goal in this group. And it's a bit of a misplaced pass from Badia.
They'll not be nervy tonight, Israel. They know they've got a fantastic chance. It set itself up nicely. Interesting to see what they said about Croatia as well. Maybe fearing them a little, saying that they're the best team in the group. I'm sure all the English boys might have something to say about that one. Long way to go.
Mind you, Israel are unbeaten in 13 competitive matches going back to 2003 when they lost to France in Paris. That was Eduardo, who scored against England, looking to make his way down that left-hand side. Might just play slightly deeper tonight away from home. Niko Kovac, 35-year-old skipper. Zandberg, who's been restored to the side tonight. This is Afek, and back to Tauban Haim of Bolton Wanderers. Ben Youssef. Israel got a very useful 1-1 draw away against Russia in their last match. They were under the cosh in that game. Russia missed a lot of chances, and then Ben Shushan came up with an equaliser 6 minutes from the end for Israel. And that, I think, has really got everybody excited in this country that their team maybe can make it from this group. A lot depending on this game tonight. It's a big, big one in England's group. This is Nico Kranjčar of Portsmouth. Modric to pick it up in the midfield. Good pacey run from him. It's Modric. He's going all the way. Terrific run from the midfielder.
Fantastic run, wasn't it? Just as he got to the defence, you think the defence a little bit square, a little bit of a nutmeg there and a flick over the keeper, but too much. Maybe just an outside of the foot needed there, going back across the keeper, and that would have been 1-0. Fantastic quick feet on the edge of the area, though. Catches the defender square. Maybe should have finished.
Well, he's a coming talent, I think, in Europe, Luka Modric. I know that Bayern Munich and Werder Bremen have been looking at him. He's only 21 years of age. He's already scored against Italy in his international career. That was a really good run.
Wasn't the best of defending, though, by Tauban Haim as the last man. Just caught himself square. Didn't really show Modric one way or the other. The nutmeg was outrageous, wasn't it, on the edge of the area, and so easily could have been 1-0.
Croatia, of course, did make it to the World Cup finals, but they haven't been beaten since they lost there against Brazil. Here's Zandberg hugging the right-hand touchline. Casey on that far side. Now Badia. Albaman. And now Afek. Good football from Israel. Afek feeds it inside. He was looking to go for the return, but it wasn't properly executed.
Well, patient stuff. Some may say a little bit too patient. They've got the ball wide in the first place to Zandberg. From a long diagonal. Maybe he could have got at the left full-back, Siminic there. He had a one-on-one situation, came inside. 5 or 6 more passes. It was back to where it came from. Be a little bit more direct when they get in that last third and get their crosses in.
Simic forward for Croatia. 2-0 winners, remember, over England. This is Kola Uti. He's only winning his 4th cap. Bright Argentine-born striker. Modric again. Kovac feeding it wide, and Eduardo da Silva unable to keep it in play.
Well, 7 minutes old the game. I don't think Yossi Ben Ayoun's had a kick. He's a player that they really want to get on the ball as much as possible.
Right on cue, he gets it. Ben Ayoun with the captain's armband. That's a good ball through towards Albaman. Kola-Uti trying to get on the end of it. He's going to score here. Big mistake in the Croatian defence, and Kola-Uti has has put Israel ahead and sparked wild celebrations in this Tel Aviv stadium.
The first time Ben Ayoun gets on the ball and he causes a problem, drifts out to the left-hand side, comes inside to receive, and it's a great final ball. Terrible mix-up in the defence, though, and the easiest of tappings for Coloruti. That's what Ben Ayoun's all about, Ian. You can see he comes in off that flank, gets the ball, feeds it through. Coloruti continues his run. What a mess up in the defence, and simple tapping.
Big mistake by Semenic, wasn't it? Misunderstanding perhaps with the new goalkeeper Runya making his debut. That might have been a factor in it as well. Was there a shout from the keeper?
You can see as it comes through there, Semenic touch it back. He thinks he's back on his line, Runya, but he's out there, he's too far out, and it's the opening goal.
What a nightmare for the goalkeeper. I think that was just about his first touch, wasn't it, to pick the ball out of the net?
To say though, Ben Ayoun coming off that flank, he just came in off that left-hand side here and received the ball in that little hole, in that little pocket, and he loves getting at players and just sliding those balls through, and that's what calls the goal.
Kranjčar to take the free kick, goes deep, and it's well held by the Israeli goalkeeper. Dudu Awat, one of those who was saying Croatia are better than England in the build-up to this. Here's Ben Ayoun, who was instrumental, of course, in the build-up to the goal, as was Alberman, who did well. Kranjčar. Now Eduardo. Petric. Now Modric, who's looking like he might be a danger man. Cerna's wide on the right. Can the Israelis hold their nerve? If they can, they're going to wind up top of this group by the end of the night, but there's a long way to go, of course. Kranjčar looking to work a 1-2 with Petric on the edge of the box. Quite a start here. Cerna goes to ground. I think that looked like a dive to me, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah, it was a dive. Going nowhere, really. Mental held him up well. Cerna was going nowhere, tried to claim the foul. Here's the goal again. Look, just feeds through to Coloruti in the end. Via Semenic, it just touches it over the line. I'll have that one, thank you very much, even though it was going in. Wouldn't mind one of them every week, strikers, would you?
Well, even if the goalkeeper didn't call, it was a very poor piece of defending, wasn't it, by Semenic?
Well, he just had to hack it away probably with his right foot and go back to where it came, but trying to get a little bit too cute. Certainly in the penalty area and cost his team dear.
Stephen Curran, when he sees that, will be reflecting, why didn't they do that against us?
He didn't get that far up the pitch, did he?
Not that often, that's for certain. Kovac with a loose ball. Sandberg was able to cut it out. Just listen to the noise around here. Across the former West Ham Everton defender, and that's the first goal, of course, that Croatia have conceded in the group so far.
They're a team who don't make mistakes normally, very difficult to beat, and you deal with things a lot better than they did do there. But Modric just before that had a fantastic chance, didn't he, when he went through after nutmegging Ben Ayoun on the edge of the area. I wonder if that's going to cost them dearly, because it was a great chance created by himself, but could have been one up before that happened.
Robert Kovac feeding forward to Cerna, who's trying to pick up the run of Petric, the striker who marked his international debut with 4 goals earlier on in this group against Andorra. But they have been very much the chopping blocks, of course. Semenic. And the only good thing from Croatia's point of view is they've got a long time left in the game to put things right. Goal arriving in the 8th minute.
I think this is where they're particularly good, though, and they keep possession in the middle of the midfield really well. Modric, Kovac, Kranjčar as well. Just got to carve out them openings. The moment that lone striker up front, Petric, just had the one run from Modric coming from deep from midfield, but they're very, very good at keeping possession as a 3 in the middle of the park.
Coloruti, the goal scorer, is on the chase again here. It's the second time he's scored already in this group. But he's only playing for Israel, by the way, because he married an Israeli girl recently. He got clearance from FIFA to play in this group 2 days before his debut. Same towards Kolouti, got a useful header on it. Just as well that Robert Kovac was there.
Useful header, but a free header, totally unmarked. Two centre-backs just leaving it to each other and no one dealing with it at all.
Badia. PC wide on that side. He's been playing for Israel for 12 years now. Sandberg. Alberman. This is a play by him. Alfek continues with his run forward as well. The right back is in the penalty area waiting. Sandberg's done well. He's got it through to him as well.
Good in possession, sorry Ian, but they're really panicking in defence, and that mistake for the goal. Simunic has made them even more nervy, you can see, trying to make a tackle as they burst in the area.
Loose ball again from the Croatians, who have been very slow to settle here in Tel Aviv tonight. It was only a couple of months ago that Israel got clearance to play home matches again in their own country after the conflict with the Hezbollah guerrillas, which was, of course, a feature of all the Sun and News bulletins. It's a long-range effort this time from Niko Kovac.
A bit optimistic from that range. Maybe could have kept a possession, played off the striker and got another midfield player in, but a little bit of panic set in, although we're only 14 minutes into the game. Perfect start for Israel, though.
That's the coach, Dror Kashdan, who's definitely one from the say nout school of managers. I think the most words he used in any answers to the press last night was about 5. Seemed to resent most of the questions as well. But he's doing a good job, it has to be said, for his country.
He doesn't even like us watching the pre-game training session, did they? 10 or 15 minutes and chucked out.
This is Idan Tal, who started in the Premiership for Bolton for the first time at the weekend against Sheffield United. Now Badia. Casey on that far side. Badia looking to feed it in again.
Feed it into Benoit, who's just sitting in that little pocket again, and just trying to sit in that pocket between defence and midfield. Done it once for the goal, he set up the goal, and they're just trying to get him into that position. Of course, you have to keep the ball patiently, wait for the opening to happen, and slip it into that pocket. And of course, that's Kolouti's job, to keep the defence stretched, to make sure that that pocket happens.
Alberman. Goes down, play on, says the referee. Idan Tal puts it up. He wants a shot with the left foot. It was worth a crack, but it was a long, long way over the bar.
Always looking to come on that left foot, wasn't he? There's the tackle. Idan Tal coming onto his left foot after that and firing over the bar. Not much wrong with that. Good tackle.
Alberman, who plays for Beitar Jerusalem, the league leaders in Israel, he scored in a top-of-the-table draw against the champions Maccabi Haifa last week. Idan Tal getting it away. Important for Israel to hold their nerve and their shape. Up to Croatia to do something about their self-induced problems. Kovac, Robert Kovac, that is, one of the two brothers. Now Eduardo looking to work with Petric. There's Alberman again. He's done well. Sandberg. Another of the players from the league leaders, Bitar. Fascinating, of course, for England fans to just get a little taste of what Israel are about. Expecting about 5,000 England fans to be here. One or two police and security officers doing a little recce ahead of that game here tonight.
Israeli public can't wait, can they? That's all the talk has been about that England game, and the welcome they're going to give to the fans as well.
Number 2 qualify from the group. Second place would be good enough. Now then, Eduardo.
Stuck out on this left-hand side at the moment, Eduardo. He's not really drifting inside to help the main striker, Petric. Once or twice he's come in, but immediately goes back out on this left, really trying to keep the width for Croatia.
Modric, who came close early on for the Croatians with a good run. Trying to find it through to Petric, but the alert Afek was there at the back.
So they've got to be very concentrated, Israel, when Croatia are in possession, keeping the ball in and around here, not jump out the line and get caught square.
Serna dispossessed. So far, so good for Israel. I just wonder if the kind of mistake Croatia made at the back there, Tony, will get them starting to believe this might be their night.
It was a gift, and it's exactly what you need, just to calm the nerve. They've passed the ball better since the goal. You see around here they're keeping it patiently. When they're rushed, when Croatia do press, they tend to give it away a little bit. Go for the longer ball like that, rather than trying to feed it into Ben Ayoun's feet, where he created that goal.
Luka taking it quickly for the Croatians. Croatians still have a very good record in European Championship qualifiers. Only lost 4 times in 29. The goalkeeper, now did he handle that outside the area? Not quite, I don't think. Just about got rid of it in time.
Extremely well, didn't he? I thought at one stage he was coming out there, Watts. Caught it and just pushed it back out again. I think he dealt with it very well in the end. He realised the momentum had he just kept it in his hands, would have carried him outside that area.
Siminic towards Eduardo. He's allowed to take it and turn by Afek, and Eduardo's pace has got him to the byline here. And the cross pretty disappointing at the end of that. Serna had to go fetch. Back in towards Petric. Picked up by Niko Kovac. Modric. Cranshaw with the chip forward. A nice little ball towards Petric. Good idea that from the Croatians. Cute ball from Cranshaw, who tries his luck from distance. He's never frightened to shoot.
Just trying to get his half volley away, but snatched at it and really dragged it wide. That's the first time Eduardo's had a chance really to run at the right back on this side, and Afek was beaten quite easily. You see, this is the wet built with the ball. Catches it there, he realises the momentum's going to bring him out and spills it out. Deals a bit quite well in the end.
It's quite quick thinking, really, by Awet, who plays for Deportivo La Coruña, by the way, in Spain. The Israeli fans in full voice. Simic with a little chip forward. Cut out quickly by Tal Ben Haim, who finds it. Tal is Bolton Wanderers' teammate. Then Kalouti. Kalouti goes for the return. Nice, neat football that from the Israelis.
Croatia want to press high, and they can get in behind. Kalarouti's always shown he's got a burst of speed to get in behind the two centre-backs, Simic and Kovac. They've got to be careful. Just one little knock off, and if they're too tight, he can spin and get in behind for the return pass. As the game progresses, he'll probably try and hold a higher line.
Modric has looked impressive so far, up towards Petric. Now Cerna. Dangerous this for Croatia, driven across towards the back post. They're surely going to score here, but scrambled away in the nick of time by Ben Yusuf. Simjanic. Just for a moment there, it looked as if that defence was going to be breached.
There was a lapse of concentration. Cerna broke down that right-hand side. They didn't track their runners. Ball comes across. He's got two to pick out, one far or one near. Goes for the far, Eduardo. And I think really should have just slipped in the near man. He just gets his head up here. Can see the run coming through Kranjčar. He needs to pick him out rather than Eduardo on the far side. And it's cleared, fortunately, by Israel, because they did get caught in the numbers game there. Broke from midfield, Croatia, and wasn't tracking their runners.
Despite that bad start, there's just a feeling with Croatia that there's an extra belief about them these days. No panic and beginning to dominate possession, and that's a very good ball from Simic to Modric. Petric is on the back post, headed back in, but the goalkeeper had read it.
They're starting to create a few chances, and I think the fullbacks for Israel, Afek and Yusuf, they're not really pressing out. You can see if they can press out, there's only one to mark for the two centre-backs, but yeah, fortunately there, Petric doesn't really have any support to get his header back to anyone. They're too deep, the fullbacks, for knocking one at some stages, and that's not enough. They're getting runners coming from deep from midfield, really catching them out.
Here's Badia, winning his 67th cap tonight, by the way, the holding midfield player for Israel, wearing the number 10 shirt. Now Ben Ayoun, with this knee ligament tear. He's admitted it before the game, but absolutely adamant that he's going to play for his country in this big match. There's one or two stories locally from the local journalists that he said to them that he might miss West Ham's next three after that. There might be an interesting discussion going on at Upton Park about that when he gets home.
I hope Alan Pardew isn't watching or listening.
Premiership managers have spies everywhere, don't worry about that. Sandberg played it wide to Afek. Wants to get forward. He's the right back again, who actually scored twice on his debut for Israel.
That was sloppy, wasn't it, by Afek? Got himself into a good position there, and then he just had to slip it onto the back foot. Ben Ayoun, it was a poor pass into the last third and then gave it away.
Went out of play on that far side. I mean, one thing to say, really, we've been here for a couple of days, Tony, is that there's going to be no excuses, really, for England when they come here. It's not a particularly intimidating stadium. It's very open, and the pitch is gorgeous.
No excuses, I think you're right. Certainly looking forward to England coming here. They will be greeted, and they'll get a great welcome, I think, from the fans. Big Premiership fans over here. When you speak to big fans of our Premiership, and can't wait for England to come here. But as you said, Ian, there's no excuses. This pitch is lovely, far from volatile.
England haven't been here since 1988 in Bobby Robson's reign. That was a 0-0 draw. And a couple of years before that, they won 2-1 here. Brian Robson getting both of the goals in another friendly. A lot more at stake in March, that's for certain. Cerna here. Kranjčar's broken into the box. Eduardo is deep again, and it's nicely dealt with in the end.
Nicely dealt with, but again, they're finding one striker into his feet. And I think they've really got to get tight. Fullbacks, as I said, should be pushing in. Afek and Yusuf. Casey and Ben Ayoun have really got to get tight to that one striker. Stop that first ball going in. Going a little bit deep, I think, at the moment.
Alberman to Sandberg. It was just a bit behind him. Kranjčar. To really find a regular place in the Portsmouth side. Cerna. Korluka. Israel almost giving Croatia the middle third here and say, well, come and break us down if you can. Kranjčar looking to do exactly that. Coluca. Crossed in towards Eduardo. Feeds it back. And they're claiming a handball in the block there. That shot by Niko Kovac. Not given. Played deep towards Eduardo. And he goes to ground and looks at the referee, who's basically has said to him, please get up and don't try that again.
Going for the foul on Affect, but no foul for me there. But again, lying deep. I don't think they're good enough to do that, Israel. I don't think they're good enough to lie deep, try and get the numbers back and defend like that. They have to push out slightly. You can see the cross coming to the far post, and here they're claiming the foul. No foul for me. Gets caught under the flight of the ball.
It looked outrageous, didn't it, looking at that again? Absolutely zero contact. It was a comic cut, frankly. Here's Idantal. An overlapping run. Badia's got it now for Israel. Nicely poised this game. Israel ahead from the 8th minute. And then Ben Ayoun looking to just flick it on with the header. Interestingly, Ben Ayoun scored a couple of times for his country this season, but none at all so far for West Ham. Here's Simunic. Now Modric. Kranjčar. Cerna again with room to get in across. There's an awful lot of crosses coming in now to the Israeli defence, and maybe they're going to have to start cutting off that supply line.
Well, they're going deeper than their own penalty area. You can see them edging back here, and that's creating room for the midfield to up in support of Petric, and they're very, very good at keeping possession, Croatia, in and around this last third. Just trying to carve out that little opening. Waiting patiently, waiting to pass, get it into the striker, and then get a runner from midfield joining. I don't think the Israelis really can concentrate that long. They tend to jump out of the ball now and again.
Everybody but the striker, Arauti, back behind the ball. Driven, and a great save there. It was Niko Kranjčar, and then Kovac, who finally had the shot.
Kovac had the shot, but no one came tight to the striker again. Look, Kovac plays the 1-2. Where's the defenders to come tight with the striker, Petric? No one comes, sets up the shot. Just waiting for that opportunity patiently, just to set themselves up. No one comes tight, no one prevents it. That's their problem at the moment.
Here comes the Croatian corner. And the header down was from Coluca, the right full-back. Israel's grip on their lead looking a little fragile at the moment.
He'll be keen to get them in at the break, Castellani, just to say, look, we've got to get tight on that main striker. That's the main thing. And they can't get off of him and get those runners going forward. Going deep, very, very deep. See on your pictures, I suppose, at home, how deep that defence is. Here at the stadium, it's alarmingly deep.
Niko Kranjčar is beginning to just dominate a few things, and then Niko Kovac. Kranjčar again, looking to bend one this time. It's a decent block from Affect. But they're really sitting back Israel and inviting Croatia onto them. Almost as if it was the last 10 minutes of the game. Siminic's header in towards Eduardo. Darting little player. And then Cerna with the header. Difficult bounce, and Israel smuggle it away again. And there's going to be a free kick, which gives me the chance to tell you that on Sky Sports 1 at 7 o'clock, a must-win game for the Republic of Ireland in their group at home to San Marino. So do stay with us later on for that one.
You can tell Ben Ayoun just dealing with it well in the end. Maybe could have got to the bounce before, but certainly when it did bounce up, he was brave enough to get his header away. Probably not hurt as much as he's showing.
His dad, you might have read about this, was involved in a fist fight with Tal Ben Haim's former agent in the team hotel on Monday night. That's caused one or two waves in the build-up to this game, and the son has got a bit of blood showing as well here, giving blood for the cause.
I think he got one on that nose there. You can see. Hurt a little bit more than I thought. I do apologise.
Yeah, definitely was contact there, all right.
Not hurt as much as the agent from his dad, though.
Big row over money, apparently. This is Afek. It's left a little bit short, and Petric is in there. Is that going to be a penalty kick? The referee was a long, long way away from that. Awat. And the referee, what's he going to give here? Is he saying he's yellow carding the goalkeeper? This has got to be a penalty. This has got to be a penalty. He's given it.
Definite penalty. I don't think he sent him off because the ball's going away from goal. So that's the correct decision with the yellow card, but definite penalty. Terrible back pass, well short. Awat caught unawares, and then it's a penalty. There's no doubt about that. You can see. Just shapes up the pass it back, and it's Yusuf who drops him short. Yeah, you can see, I think it's Petric who gets in there. There's no doubt about that one. And just as I was saying about their concentration levels and keeping it, they give it away. Definite penalty, good decision, and a good decision not for a red card as well, because he's going away from goal.
Cerna's going to take it, and it's into the back of the net. They are level. It's another self-induced error, really. Israel, with that poor back pass, playing their goalkeeper into trouble. Penalty, and Cerna, who's actually got a penalty before against his opposition in a friendly, does it again here.
Good penalty as well. He goes high. Oh, that goes the right way. Goes high, straight down the middle. Obviously trying to anticipate where he's going. Straight down the middle of the goal, and it's the equaliser. That is a blow for Israel. Lack of concentration costs them dearly, and it's 1-1.
And you have to say the goal did look as if it was coming.
Well, it was. They were getting deeper and deeper. In the end, it didn't come as we thought. It just was that lack of concentration I was saying. I don't think that they're good enough to just sit back like that and absorb pressure, and then mistakes eventually come.
It's Ben Yusuf who made that error. Just switching off for a moment, and will really be kicking themselves about that, will Israel, having been in the box seat. But they did go a little bit negative, possibly a little too early. 1-1.
Maybe they'll come out and play again. Got frightened of winning, didn't they? You see the finishing line. It was the 8th minute. But there we go. That's plenty hard enough back with that back pass. That's what it needed before.
Hoists it downfield. And the Croatians looking poised, and they never panicked when they got behind. They just played their football and probed and pressed, and then something happened. Now Alberman looking to make inroads as Israel get a bit more positive again. Zandberg across towards that back post where Corluka missed it, and it was picked up by Ben Ayoun. Casey gets the crossing, but it's too long.
Better though, but Sandberg again having to come back on his left foot on this right-hand side. He's in some great positions, but then goes back 10 yards to get his crossing.
Afek. Decent block by Josip Siminic. Here's the Hertha Berlin in the Bundesliga. Well, back to the drawing board, I guess. Now then, Alberman, who looks a danger man, I must admit. Badia to Idan Tal. And then Zamberg, that was a difficult bounce for the goalkeeper. He fielded it well.
It was, but maybe half a yard more. If it pitches up half a yard more, he makes it much more difficult for Runya. Just pitches up nicely, and you can see the surface is, well, trusting. He gets his body and hands well behind the ball.
Goalkeeper Runya, by the way, making his debut, played recently for Besiktas against Tottenham in the UEFA Cup, where Spurs put on a good performance away from home, something they'll be looking to do a bit more in the Premiership. Cranchar, that's nicely done. Eduardo, he's got him behind here. Chance, Eduardo, 2-1 Croatia. Brilliant football that by the Croatians. Clinical. And the man who scored against England has scored here against Israel. And this game has been turned around in a matter of moments.
No, it's a great finish by Eduardo. Well, what happens to the fullback, Afek? Look, ball watching, he just gets in behind him. The rest are playing him onside on the far side. Has the composure to just pass it past the keeper. It's a great finish, but where is the fullback, Afek? Look, halfway in his own half, caught the wrong side, totally daydreaming, and that lack of concentration that I was talking about. And the more passes they have, Croatia, the more lapses of concentration Israel will have, and Afek does there. Lapse of concentration and a good finish at the end from Eduardo.
Eduardo, who was not picked in the World Cup squad, and that's looking like a pretty bad decision in retrospect now. He scored against Italy, he scored against England, he scored tonight. That's his 10th international goal in what's only his 24th cap. He's also the top scorer in the Croatian league at the moment.
It's a reward for some patient football, though, Ian, isn't it? And I think sometimes this is the criticism with maybe England. We go in, up to our strikers a little bit too early. Don't pass it around in the middle of the park like Croatia have been doing. And they wait for defenders to jump and come out the line and lose concentration. And the more passes you have, well, it's better. It's patient, it's probing, and at the end, there's a finish from Eduardo as well. But that was poor defending, wasn't it?
Great finish there, wasn't it?
Super finish, just passed it home.
No messing about at all. Cranchar, who set up the goal. Oh, that's a nice ball too for Cerna. They're going to make it 3. Petric was nearly on the end of that. And Croatia, well, at the moment, they're playing some pretty good stuff.
Well, short passing football and then a great diagonal pass. Cerna took it in his stride, and again, poor defending on the far side this time from Youssef. And I think the pass into the centre should have been better from Cerna, and that would have been the 3rd goal. Petric would have just run that one in.
Badia. Done by Benayoun, and Kalauti is offside. Nice move. Now, was a goalkeeper just caught by a trailing boot there, Runya?
It was a close one. You see just offside though, Kalauti. Just stuck the foot out. It's a little bit dramatic again from Runya. Looked that hard, did it? And again, we've seen a couple of head injuries for keepers lately, so hold court on this one. You can see he just tries to go in there, and he catches him. Looks like he catches him with the knee again, doesn't he? Maybe the foot misses the ball, and then his knee catches his head again.
It didn't really look like that horrific collision between Stephen Hunt of Reading and Petr Cech. Not nowhere near, of course, as forceful. Thank goodness. It looks like there's going to be a card here, presumably for Kalauti, for leaving his foot in, according to the ref. Anyway, he's making a note of a name. He has indeed got a yellow card.
A decent chance to get in behind though. Croatia caught a little bit square. Simic and Kovac, he just held his run a fraction and may have got in there. That's what they need to do. Just pin them back a little bit and then just get that ball threaded down the sides of those central defenders.
This is bouncing a long way. Then Ben Youssef wasn't quite sure where the ball was there, and once again Cerna was looking to break into height. He's the man who's replaced Rapajic tonight. Remember Rapajic playing against England and being involved in 1 or 2 feisty confrontations. Cerner has looked very, very good, having returned from a ruptured muscle tonight. Scoring a penalty, of course. Badia. Good ball inside from Sandberg to Benayoun. Casey on the far side playing it in. Cranshaw looking to put Petric in. They've got a very, very high opinion of Nico Cranshaw down at Portsmouth. Maybe still just adapting to life in the Premiership, but you'd feel sure to be a major playmaking type down at Fratton Park once he gets in the side more regularly.
Certainly fits into this pattern well with that midfield three. Cranshaw, we just mentioned Modric and Kovac, three good players, good on the ball, and they really run the midfield in this first half.
The crowd have been quietened down, so noisy early on when Israel were ahead, but those 2 goals in a matter of minutes change the mood. Up to Israel to do something about it. Sandberg looking to work something with Benayoun, who tried to get his shot away. It's a panicky looking clearance. Throw goes Israel's way. It's way over the bar from Badia. In the end, Israel, by the way, have only ever made the finals of one competition, one big competition. That was the World Cup in Mexico in 1970.
See, Badia, who's been the anchor man in midfield, sets himself well with his first touch, but not the best of efforts. Miles too high.
Petric got an important little flick on, and again Cerner can pick it up on this right-hand side. He seems to have a lot of room to run all the time, and I think that's been a major problem on both flanks, particularly that right flank for the Israelis.
Yeah, Affec was caught, wasn't he, for that goal, second goal, and also on that far side, Casey, he's been caught time and time again by Cerner, who's just holding the width. They're holding the width on both sides, aren't they, Cerner and Eduardo? And the fullbacks can't get their distances right. They really can't. They are struggling.
Well, he's caused a fair bit of chaos, as Dario Sana. Good score in the World Cup as well against Australia. And the Croatian Player of the Year back in 2003. It's Niko Kovac. Bringing it back to Simic. Sana nearly got in behind again. They're just working little angles and keeping possession pretty neatly, the Croatians. Confidence buoyed by beating England. That's half-time, and Croatia sitting pretty after a very poor start, giving away a goal scored by Kolawuti, but Cerner's penalty, and then Eduardo with another goal to follow the one he got against England. And at half-time here, it's Israel 1, Croatia 2.
After a difficult start, Croatia have powered in front here. Trevor Francis, the former England striker, is watching that with us. We'll get his thoughts on what we've seen so far when we come back with the Croatians' lead, 2-1.
Live only on Sky Sports in association with Wolf Blass next Wednesday night at 11.
Oh, here he is, tough boy, the big man. Vic, alas, someone who isn't the missing link.
It's 1984, darling.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's pop.
Out now, rated 18. Don't tell me not to fly, I've simply got to. If someone takes a spill, it's me and not you. Who told you you're allowed to
Fall in love with driving again. Astra from Vauxhall.
When is a good deal not a good deal on car insurance?
When there's nothing to gain from being a loyal customer.
At Direct Line, we offer extra discounts when you insure more than one car. And we let named drivers earn their own no-claims discount.
That's better.
Go online for a 10% discount. Direct Line, a good deal better.
Vamos!
Put the theme in a sounding board, for she's lived it 10 times or more. She could spit in the eye of fools, how they ask her to focus on sailors fighting in a dim soul. Oh man, look at those cavalangos, it's a freaky show.
The 3 Music Store. Open now on your 3 mobile.
That must be a total pain.
Yeah, and the rate is increasing.
Why don't you get rid of it?
Don't think I haven't thought about it.
Just cut it up into little pieces and problem gone. Then get a Capital One card instead.
Is paying too much interest a real headache? Switch to Capital One and get 0% on balance transfers until the 1st of January 2008 and 0% on purchases for the first 3 months. Call Capital One now on 0800 952 5060 or visit capitalone.co.uk.
Your order, sir?
Grilled woodpecker.
Whoa. What's in your wallet?
This Friday, there's a colossal Euro Millions jackpot. And £120 million must be won.
Seriously, shuffle for you.
With some things, you've got no chance. But at McDonald's, you've got every chance. Brilliant Sony gear and food prizes can be won on every What's in the Box scratch card. Just scratch and match to win.
Fly down to your local Vauxhall retailer, where the Astra SXI is available with no deposit, 0% finance and free insurance.
Oh, they're in here all the time. They're a nice lot, the HSA people. They give you money back on your eye care and your dental bills. To find out more, just give them a call on 0800 08 54321. My family get £280 to cover opticians' bills each year. And another £280 for dentist bills. We get all that and much more for just £4 a week. And we got £15 worth of Marks & Spencer's vouchers when we joined. So find out more now by calling HSA on 0800 08 54321. HSA, a healthier place to be.
You are not going to believe what's just happened.
I know, look, 2 pence in the first 5 minutes.
Sky Bet. It matters more when there's money on it.
Don't forget, coming later, the second live European Championship qualifier of the night, the Republic of Ireland against the worst team in Europe, according to the rankings. 7 o'clock, Sky Sports 1. We are hoping 4 goals. We've got 3 already in this game. Trevor, it took the Croatians a little while to get going, didn't it? On largely the back of some almost parks defending. They get themselves in front, Israel. And I mean, what is the message here from the performance in the last half hour from Croatia?
Well, I think it's fair to say that both teams have defended really poorly, Richard, and Israel had the perfect start. But you've got to give, credit to Croatia and the way that they've come back. They've shown a lot of character. But when I think back to the game that England played in Croatia, we never really tested them, did we? And they've shown tonight that if you get at them, both teams are very suspect defensively.
And what is it that Josip Simonic, who's the man right at the heart of this defensive error, has that no other player in the world has received? on a football pitch, 3 yellow cards. He's the man Graham Poll booked, isn't he?
Absolutely, and his woes continue here, because why he thinks about, you know, passing the ball back to the goalkeeper from that position, only he will know. That ball should have been kicked either for a throw-in or for a corner.
The keeper can't pick it up, can he?
He can't. The keeper, to be fair, is a little bit too far off his line, but there's still no excuse for an experienced defender like Simonic to try and play it back to the keeper in that position. I mean, they got themselves off the hook because it was a miscontrol from the Israeli player, and there were 3 Croatian players there to deal with it, and to try and pass it back to the goalkeeper in the opening 5 minutes of a game away from home like that is absolutely criminal.
Having said all of that, the equaliser also owed a lot to, well, how would you describe the defending on this occasion?
Equally as bad, because the moment that ball left his foot, it was never going to reach the goalkeeper. Petric does well here because he gets onto it well, and the moment that he goes over, it gives the referee absolutely no option but to give a penalty. I think it was the right decision. He could so easily have given a red card. So Israel...
You mean the booking was the right decision? There was no doubt about the penalty, was there?
Absolutely not. I mean, he could have given a red card, but I think probably it was the right decision to give a yellow card. So Israel got away with just conceding a penalty. And as we see on many occasions, you know, the goalkeeper tries to second-guess the penalty taker, and he puts it right down the centre.
3 minutes, 24 seconds later, Croatia are in front. And this time the defending?
Well, Ben Ahim gets turned so easily there. He should be tighter on the player, but the full-back's got to take responsibility, Athic. To allow Eduardo to get goal side like he did is really poor positioning. I like the way Eduardo finishes. He was born in Rio in Brazil, and there's a little touch of Brazilian about the way he calmly strokes this pass a watt in the goal.
So many times in those situations you see the ball played through the keeper's legs, don't you? And it has the outcome that Croatia required then. They lead by 2-1 at half-time. Don't forget, later we'll be watching the Republic of Ireland, and at 10 o'clock tonight we've got highlights from England's friendly in Holland.
In a hostage crisis,
Nobody's coming after you.
Don't lie to me!
the one thing you don't do
You think you're the first guy who ever messed up?
is get personal.
I'm sleeping with my partner.
Standoff starts tomorrow at 10 on Sky 1 and Sky 1 HD.
Time to go.
Captain Jack is back in the biggest movie event of the year.
What about Jack? I can't leave without him. Never mind, let's go.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest on Disney DVD, 20th November.
I didn't start out a 10-time world champion. I am the game, Triple H. I started at the bottom and worked my way up.
It's time to unleash the animal! So don't just watch it, live it.
WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. Out now.
Vamos!
This Friday, there's a colossal Euro Millions jackpot. And £120 million must be won.
Women, don't expect any help on a Tuesday. Nuts about women, motors, sport, read Nuts. This week, free extra mag.
How little does it cost to join the UK's #1 breakdown service? A service with more dedicated patrols than anyone else, who fix more breakdowns than anyone else, and who 95% of its members would recommend. Join the AA now from just £39. Call 0800 444 999.
Join now and receive a £10 M&S voucher. Call 0800 444 999.
It's a phenomenon known as déjà vu. It's a phenomenon known as déjà vu. Many believe it's a trick of the mind.
Have we met?
But the truth is far more extraordinary.
What if you had to tell someone the most important thing in the world, but you knew they'd never believe you?
I try.
he has been shown a secret.
We can look anywhere. 4 days in the past.
The government doesn't want you to know.
This is not surveillance. This is the actual past.
Yes.
Wow. Hey, let me ask you something. Is she alive or is she dead?
The key to stopping a disaster.
Brace yourselves. I think you're about to witness a murder.
Starts by solving the mystery of deja vu.
What if you had to tell someone the most important thing in the world, but you knew they'd never believe you?
I tried.
Deja vu. If you think it's just a feeling, go back and look again.
No fingerprints, no footprints, no smoking gun.
Do you see a skull?
Hey, Bones, I'm not looking for a skull.
And their relationship is murder. Bones, the brand new series, starts tomorrow at 9 on Sky One and Sky One HD.
If he's last goal scorer, we'll go and get that stair lift, eh? Eh?
Sky Bet. It matters more when there's money on it.
Friday night, we get a chance to look at the championship leaders, Cardiff. They meet QPR at 7:30 on Sky Sports 1, a match also available in high definition. That's channel 408 if you're a Sky HD viewer. Saturday, there are two pay-per-view offerings from the Premiership. Manchester City meet Fulham at 12:30. Middlesbrough play Liverpool at 5. Channel 480 for details of how to order those matches, or you can call 08705 160 160. Group E we're looking at this evening. This is England's European Championship qualifying group. There's a match finished already. Russia have beaten Macedonia by 2-0, which means they currently top the group. We're watching Croatia in Israel. Remember, the Croatians beat England last time out. They lead here by 2-1. Simonic's Trevor was just saying, in many ways, you know, the first goal, he was right at the heart of that one, with that dreadful back pass. In a way, his part in that deserved for him to have put that through his own goal, didn't it?
Absolutely, because Colorti nipped in to just nick it over the line.
As you would if you were Colorti.
Absolutely. You can't say nothing against the Israeli forward for doing it, but I think Simonic has got off lightly there, because that would have gone down as one of the worst own goals in history. So he's got off lightly there, as he did in the World Cup, of course.
Yeah, he's a lucky player. Let's rejoin our match commentators, Tony Gale and Ian Dark.
Welcome back to Tel Aviv. Chats going on there among the Israeli need to tighten up in the second half. I think they need to believe in themselves a little bit more. Croatia have a weakness in centre back. They forced one error.
Well, somewhere in the distance there, I can hear Tony Gale and Ian Dark, but plainly between here and Tel Aviv, we have one or two communication problems at the moment, which we will do our best to address. The Israelis are back, I can tell you that. Not sure if the Croatians are just yet. And these are replays from our colleagues at Israeli television. This is a Simonic's goal we're talking about, Trevor. That's the incident, isn't it?
That's the incident, and as the ball is played into the Israeli player Alberman, his first touch is so poor that there were so many occasions there when they could have got the ball clear. That's another horrendous mistake defensively. Nothing wrong with the penalty. Nice and straight, right down the middle. And this is once again really poor defending, but a lovely finish, Richard. Eduardo with his left foot there just strokes the ball through the legs of the keeper. I just wonder if Israel will consider trying to get back into this game, get somebody up to support Colorti. He's the lone striker and he's been rather left isolated.
Let's have another go. See if we can rejoin Tony Gale and Ian Dark.
Yeah, thanks, Richard. I think those gremlins on the line to Tel Aviv have gone now. Now Slaven Village will be very happy. That's Robert Prozanecki, by the way, alongside him, a wonderful creative player for Croatia in the past. And also Aljosa Asanovic, who's also part of that Croatian management side. Now they're going to make a change here and bring on the 18-year-old Toto Tamuz, who plays for the league leaders Beitar Jerusalem. And he's onto the left-hand side here with Benayoun pushing further in field. Badia is the player who has been released. The central midfielder, a former Wimbledon man, he's come off. That's an offensive move, and Israel need that, of course, from 2-1 behind in this vital game in England's Group E. Remember, 4 teams on 7 points going into this game: England, Croatia, Macedonia and Israel. Russia, as you've been hearing, have moved on to 8 points with a win against Macedonia this evening.
Just a collision there between Afek, right back spot. And of course, the goal scorer. The second goal took it so well, Eduardo.
Incidentally, it might be November, but it's still about 70 degrees today in Tel Aviv, which is on the Mediterranean. It's the second biggest city. This is Modric. A cute little ball to Eduardo. He tries his luck from a long way. I'm sure that's what he wasn't intending. He's made a pretty good start, hasn't he, as a Croatian international. Eduardo scoring a game tonight. He plays for Dinamo Zagreb. Sharp little player. Playing it inside to Benayoun. To get Benayoun really pulling the strings and trying to test this Croatian defence. Afek. Onto with Zandberg. It looks as if he's been just pushed a little further inside.
I think they're going to try and push Benayoun even further on. Try and get in support of Colarucci, who really got isolated in that first half, and I think it's a collective thing. It's from the back as well. They've got to push in. They were just going deeper and deeper and deeper, and then of course the midfield comes deeper on them. Colarucci gets more and more isolated.
Tamuz, lovely turn. Welcome to the game. Decent ball in as well, and then Robert Kovac's header might have ended up anywhere. It went over his own bar in the end, but what an introduction to the game for the 18-year-old Toto Tamuz.
That's better, isn't it? Much more direct, a turn and a cross. At last, putting Croatia under a little bit of pressure. That's where they've got the weakness. That's where they've got to try and find it.
The decibel level is switched up again. The Israeli fans like that. Benayoun. Idan Tal tried to attack it on the edge of the box, and the break is on now. Kranjčar. Cerner over on the left-hand side now, taking on Afek.
He had a good first half, didn't he, Cerner? Cerner on the right as he was in the first half, and obviously Eduardo on the left. Bit of a change early on. I'm sure they'll switch back again. This is Tamuz when he got his cross in. That's much more direct, and I think that's what they've got to do. Further up the pitch, in that last third, try and get their crosses in. Colarucci in there. Maybe Benayoun in support.
I'm sure, of course, if they hold on here, can move on to 10 points from 4 matches in this group. And by the way, England's last game in the group is at home to Croatia a year from now, presumably at Wembley. If they ever do open the place. Kranjčar lays it back to Simjanic. He'll be more relieved than most that his colleagues have managed to claw their way back after his horrendous early error. And launches it into the night sky. Ben Youssef. popping the ball forward. He was brought on at half-time in the game against Russia, where Israel got that surprise point. Russians have been slow to start in this group, but they could be a factor as well. And that will be another tough away trip, you'd think, for England. The Russians.
It would be. There's Tamuz there again, Ian. A nice little tackle coming back on the fullback, Koluka. And it's a cross and a tackle, just lifts all the crowd. Just a little bit of inspiration needed.
Koluka. Nice composed piece of play by him. Eduardo again makes a present of it. Now then, there's Toto Tamuz again. The fans here like his introduction. Looking to attack, nearly picked up Ben Ayoun, who'd sprung from midfield.
There was a couple of other options. He just needed to get his head up a little bit more there. First thing he saw, he passed through, and that was Ben Ayoun. Dantal was just a little bit deeper and coming onto it there.
Petric. Eduardo. We haven't seen an awful lot of Petric so far. Eduardo's looked more of a threat. Too far for Zandberg over on that far side. Earlier this season, we saw the Israeli champions Maccabi Haifa give Liverpool a bit of a run for their money in a Champions League qualifier. Liverpool only prevailing 3-2 on aggregate.
There's the Tamuz run again. He just sees Ben Ayoun, tries to get it through. Just behind him out the shot. And Dantal, much easier pass.
Zandberg. Across here to the 34-year-old Casey. He's for the champs, Maccabi Haifa. But the necessary more offensive mindset from Israel now. This is Ben Youssef. Casey had to work to just keep that in play. Israel have only lost one of their last 14 home matches in all competitions. Casey plays it in. It wasn't the best ball. It was easily cut out really by Simic. Toto Tamuz. Ben Ayoun. Tamuz had made a run forward into the box. It's cut out, but it's a little bit more interesting, this from Israel now.
The pace and aggression Tamuz has brought to the Israel game. We saw a little ball square to Ben Ayoun there, and he tried to get in behind.
Casey's ball in. Away by the tall figure of Simunic. Nicely poised this game just at the moment.
Better start here, isn't it, from Israel?
Ben Ayoun into that little pocket of space. Well, that's a disappointment.
That's unlike him. He normally picks out the pass, and the right pass as well. One got stuck in two minds.
Eduardo still on the right-hand side with Cerner on the left. Cranshaw. Now Cerner. Bent in. Eduardo! And a wonderful save, but no, he's got it in anyway. Eduardo again. 3-1 Croatia. And that might just have killed off Israel.
And a great move with patient passing. Keeper was unlucky in the end, wasn't he? Eduardo again with a goal from the Cerner cross, but they're patient. That's the thing about it. Cranshaw out wide to Cerner, cross in. It looked like the second attempt the ball goes in. But again, it's poor defending. You can see Cerner gets on the ball, and he's all on his own again. Eduardo, how far is he out? 4 yards. Great first save. A bit fortunate the way it bounced back, and he just slips it back into the net while he's on the floor, Eduardo. But again, he's poor marking, ball watching, great save first, and just prods it home from the floor. Lack of concentration again, costing them dearly, so dearly. Great save here, though, wasn't it?
Goalkeeper deserved better, really, didn't he?
He did. A little bit unfortunate in the end.
And that's how the manager celebrated it. Slaven Bilic, yes. 3 goals away from home. Can never be bad, can it?
Immediately they start passing the ball, though. Croatia, Israel have always got problems. They tend to follow the ball. All of the back four, they're just following that ball all over the place, and immediately 2 or 3 passes are made because they look no danger. And all of a sudden, they're all following the ball. They're all ball watching, and they're just caught out. They're poor defensively. Not bad when they're in possession. So poor defensively. Caught ball watching all the time.
Israel heading for what would be their first defeat in the group.
You can hear a pin drop now, Ian, couldn't you?
Yeah. The coach is unamused. That goal coming just at a time when Israel were beginning to ask a question or two themselves at the start of the half. Great time to score for Bilic's side.
Thumbs up from Bilic as well. He knows that's the end, I think.
Yeah, he only took over in July. He's had a dream start, and Croatia confirming the impression they made against England, that they are a very useful team indeed.
They certainly know how to play to this pattern. This pattern of play that they got is perfect for them, with a lone striker, 2 wide players. Eduardo likes to come in and join with the striker now and again. Cerner as well. But the 3 tight in midfield are excellent. It's the passing and the movement that they've got, which England struggle to create. Although we've got just as good a players, if not better individually, we don't seem to be able to create that passing and movement that Croatia have done tonight. It's good to watch, and you can see it developing all the time, can't you? Just trying to set themselves up for that 3rd man run to get in behind defences, and if yours poor and you ball watch as the Israelis have been doing, then you're going to get punished.
They have an awful lot of work to do here now. Idan Tal across to Casey. Petric is helping out. Just for a moment, he and Eduardo have swapped over, with Petric wide on the right and Eduardo now as the most forward player. He's on a hat-trick, of course. Alberman. Kolauti.
Refugees from his own crowd, just came deep, spun, come off his defenders, and then he hasn't had much support up there, and in desperation lets fly. And you can see the goal again. Football watching, no one's marking at all. Nearly a great save from Awat, but he responds to the rebound really well, Eduardo, and just prods it home again. Look, all coming up, just eager to jump out that line, and they get in behind. It's poor defending.
It was Eduardo, the only player who went and attacked it, really, and got the payoff. He's on quite a roll at the moment. That's 3 in the last 2 internationals for him. And as I say, they didn't even pick him for the World Cup finals, and went out in the group stage.
Left-footed, he's comfortable going on that left as he did in the first half, and coming in on this right-hand side. As I said, with Petric the lone striker, he's eager to come in off the flank as well, and he can support from deep positions.
Well, Amit Ben Shushan replacing Michael Zandberg. This is the player who got the equaliser in Russia with 6 minutes to go. In fact, he scored in the last 2 games for Israel. Only 21, promising player who plays for the Bitar Jerusalem club. Modric. Looked like a free kick, although Croatia did have the ball. I suppose the referee could have allowed an advantage. He's going to give a yellow card there, though, to Idan Tal. And that means he will miss the match against England.
There you can see late with the foul, and they've been moving the ball so well in midfield. It's desperation to get after it and try and make a tackle. He's late on Modric. He collects that yellow card. Been chasing shadows in the middle there.
By the way, they had 4 players going into this game. who were on the verge of suspension if they picked up another yellow card. Idantar was one. We're not going through the full list. Ben Ayoun is another. Certainly wouldn't want that to happen. Steve McLaren and his team will be watching the tape of this match very closely indeed when they get back from Holland. Toto Tamuz. Now Idantar.
Third goal probably came with the best spell of play that Israel had had, really. 5 or 10 minutes under pressure, and then they conceded.
Ben Ayoun's pass cut out. Just not quite 100% fit, Ben Ayoun. We knew that going into the match tonight. Here's Cerna. From a tricky start, this has got nice and comfortable for Croatia at the moment, just pushing things and the ball around as they please almost.
Easy stuff. Always seem to have the spare man into midfield for those centre-backs to pass into. Just making little angles, coming short. Just slip it into the spare midfield man, and then the move develops.
The Croatians have achieved what any away side in this kind of game looks to achieve. They've quietened the crowd totally. Kranjčar feeds it out wide. Here's Cerna, who's been a bundle of menace all night, really. He's got the ball again here. It is Cerna. He's invited to shoot. He looks to bend one. He was just put under a bit of pressure by Alberman, and that helped. And the referee's telling him, just get up. He's not going to allow him to get any treatment.
The one who's had a good game, Cerna, isn't it? Just going out onto that left-hand side now, and he's cutting in on his right foot. Eduardo on the right, is left-footed, cutting in on his left. So different proposition for the two full-backs now playing against them.
Just got a bit of depth, haven't they, as well, Croatia? I mean, Rapajic out of the side, and they can bring this guy back in, and he's not a rookie or anything like that. He's winning his 41st cap, in fact, tonight, Cerna. The Israeli crowd starting to just whistle and boo the efforts of their side, which is not what they need.
Cerna caught late there, just losing the ball again, just trying to themselves pass through midfield and close down, and Cerna nicked it and was fouled in the process. And you can see Tal Ben Ayoun just catching the back of his heels.
Dario Simic, AC Milan player, just overrunning it. It's given away by Casey. Going through a bad patch here, Israel. Modric. Niko Kovac. That was fed through towards Petric, but not accurately enough.
If the ball was right, he was in again, Petric. Again, the three midfielders just setting it up. Petric had made the angle. The two centre-backs were caught wanting again. The rhythm marking.
Afek towards Kaluti. Now Toto Tamuz. Modric. Now Eduardo. Another test for the so far rather fragile-looking Israeli defence, and England fans will draw some comfort from the way that this defence, I think, has performed here tonight. Ben Ayoun. Now Casey again. Ben Ayoun. Easily snuffed out. He's come out here to Idantar. And behind for a corner kick in the end. That was Cerna getting back, helping out his defence that time.
Tal just trying to hit the diagonal to the far post. You can see Cerner just coming back, just following his runner, getting it away for a corner.
They need something, and quite quickly, you sense, Israel. Ben Shushan feeding it wide. This is too long, but Yossi Benayoun has picked it up here for Israel. Now Casey. Off Korluka behind for the corner kick. Just one Israeli goal could change the mood.
They need it, and they need it quick, I think. I think that lift. It looks like a set piece could probably be their best avenue of scoring.
Idan Tal to take it. It's too long for everybody. The delivery frustration, not only for the Israeli players, but the crowd too, and the brakes on here. Modric. Eduardo, and the flag does go up. He tried to bend or just hold his run, but not quite effectively enough.
Lazy, actually. It was a good opportunity. Good opportunity, and Modric was just waiting for him to come onside. Good player he's looked tonight, hasn't he, Modric? He just runs with the ball. There's not many players around now who do run with the ball and give you vital seconds holding on to possession. He's kept hold of possession tonight, doesn't squander it. Short passes in midfield and just running with that ball, holding it, and just waiting for the angles to happen.
It's only his 12th cap as well, and as I was saying, I think some of the top clubs around Europe are having a look at him. He's with Dinamo Zagreb at the moment. Niko Kovac. Now Simjanic.
Niko Kovac, who you just mentioned there, just switching the play out there to Simjanic. He's the one who just balances it off in midfield. He just plays the anchor role. Allows Modric and Panchar on the other side, the two further midfield players, to just get on with it, and balances it off perfectly.
Casey. Benayoun. So far is that the Croatians have just known a little too much for Israel. Benayoun. By a little half yard. This is Ben Shushan. Deep cross in, it's come all the way up to Casey on this side, and back in, and Israel are back in the game. Yossi Benayoun. Now then, Israel threatening a comeback, and Yossi Benayoun scores his third goal for his country, the skipper, this season.
Well, we said we needed it quick, and it's come. It's a great strike from Benayoun. Was this handball from Casey? Here it comes on the far side. Yes, takes it down with his arm. Only one arm, though, that doesn't count. Cuts it back. Benayoun on the volley. Really, that's a good volley, because he's stretching into that. Look at this nice bit of control. There you go, out it comes. Lovely. Nearly caught it, put it in his pocket. Puts it back to Benayoun, and there's the volley into the corner off the deck. Lovely volley, stretching volley. The more you look at that, the more a poor decision it was with a handball, but that's a great volley, a great volley.
But very few of the Croatian players complained about that.
I don't know why.
3-2. So what have we got going on here now? Good game.
Even though it was handball and it was a great volley, you can see that the weakness with Croatia is in their defence. It's a great sign for England. You get at either of these two sides and you'll get something, but Croatia great in possession. Israel not bad in possession, but struggling to defend, most certainly.
Which again raises the question of why England couldn't get at Croatia a little more in Zagreb recently. But back to this, Toto Tamuz. Well, that's a lovely little chip through. Kolauti! And he's put it wide.
He's offside anyway, went a fraction early. Not a bad little ball from Tamuz, just chips over the defence, but just goes a fraction early, and I think the linesman on the far side gets it right. He's right in line, goes for the far side. Textbook fashion, not a bad strike, but offside.
He's got 35 goals in 66 matches for Maccabi Haifa, and he's helped them on the way to a couple of championships in recent seasons. Not quite sure why Petric has gone down there, but he has.
I think the ball hit him, believe it or not, Ian. And that is a dramatic reaction. Just a header down by Casey, just calls him in the face. You can see Casey rises. Here it is here. Heads it. Catches him in the face. Yeah, why not go down?
Makes an unsurprisingly quick recovery, and the play goes on.
I think the 30-odd thousand have just come back in the ground again.
Played into it, Uti again. Can he get between the defenders and do it? They're saying that's a back pass. They might have had a point.
Getting in behind again, in between defenders, and again poor defending. I just thought he was going to get onto that one. It's a lovely little ball in between the two defenders, and he looked like he took it well in his stride. Good ball from Idan Tal. It's in between the pair of them. As Kovacs touch it back. Here it comes over Siminic, our mate Siminic again.
Another back pass from Siminic.
He's not content with one. Oh, I reckon that's a back pass. I reckon that's a back pass.
Absolutely no doubt. Well, what else was it if it wasn't a back pass?
It was an attempt at goal.
He's already got one tonight. Well, nearly anyway.
Tell you what, he's got some confidence in his keeper, hasn't he? He must be having kittens every time he gets the ball.
Well, credit Israel. They're back in this now. Ben Shushan cutting in from that right-hand side. Toto Tamuz goes up with the goalkeeper. And that goal, Usans has just made the Croatians a bit twitchy. Petric to get in behind here.
Again, they're their own worst enemies, though. They get up ahead of steam and then they make a silly error like that.
Eduardo, hat-trick! 4-2. And the goals just keep going in, and every time he gets a chance, he puts it away with aplomb.
It's a great hat-trick and it's a great first touch, but the defending is absolutely awful. Tal Ben-Haim in the first place misses a header, allows them to get onto it. Eventually the cross comes in, takes a great touch, but look at that for defending again. That's terrible, absolutely terrible. Ball comes on in, he just waits for the defender to commit himself, and he just crashes it home. I think it's Alberman back in there to defend, help defending. Good touch, but the defending is awful. Didn't actually go back with a replay to the first instance. All he had to do was head it. It still is bad defending at the end. Look, that's terrible. Great take, though. Great take. Take nothing away from him. Been a super hat-trick.
Great night for Eduardo da Silva. And once again, Croatia have the 2-goal cushion. Ben Shushan in towards Ben-Haim, and it was just a bit too high for him. Simic got ahead to it, and anyway, the referee pulls the play back. But surely any tape of Israel's defensive performance tonight must encourage Steve McLaren to come here with attacking ideas.
Oh, I think you just got to. Any time you get at that back four, you just can't defend. Cannot defend. They're all over the place.
Here's Idan Tal. I think the crowd just don't know what to make of this. First they're
gone again.
Yeah, the door's just pushed ajar and then it slammed shut again. 6 goals so far and counting. What was that we were saying over a coffee this morning by the Med? Tight game.
Tight game. 0-0 or 1-0 either way, we said, didn't we? No, you said that, actually. I said it'd be loads of goals, it'd be exciting encounter.
I'll tell you what, if Croatia hold on to this, we've got a load of their fans staying in our hotel It's going to be a noisy night. Robert Kovac got a second bite at that. Can Israel come back again? Well, here's Ben Ayoun. And Kovac can bring it away after that challenge by Simunic. Croatia, of course, famously semi-finals in the World Cup of 1998. Babic has come on for them amid the goal celebrations. On towards Kalouti. It's 13 goals so far Croatia have hit in 4 games in this group. Dream start for them. Babic. Fresh pair of legs, and he's got Petric in behind here. Is this number 5? Oh, that's a very good saving tackle by Ben Youssef. That looked like another for a moment.
Great ball in behind, wasn't it? Petric gets away, and it looked like another case of a little bit of a handball, but in the end, decent defending to get back by Youssef.
Don't forget, coming up after this on Sky Sports 1, big game for the Republic of Ireland against San Marino. One they should be winning, really. One they have to win. That's coming up later on Sky Sports 1 for you. Could be a few goals around tonight, one way and another. It's quite a start for you, isn't it? 6 here in Tel Aviv. Now, how can Israel defend this? All of those red and white check shirts in there as it's curved in, and I'll tell you what, the right back, Korluka, had got there on the near post.
And there's no one in that space. Again, I would say naive defending. You can see no one in that space there. Korluka nearly gets across his marker and puts it in.
Niko Kovac, such an experienced operator in the midfield for Croatia. So comfortable on the ball. Playing for Salzburg now in Austria. First time he's ever played outside Germany. Cruncher, by the way, was the player who went off, just in case you were wondering, to make way for Babic's arrival.
No change in the shape though, Ian. They retain that shape, and Babic will be equally at home in that midfield 3.
Here is Babic.
Referee just explaining there, look, I was waiting for the advantage when it didn't come, then I blew up. I had every right. Again, very, very quiet. Got back to 3-2 Israel, and they simply gave it away, didn't they? Absolutely gave it away. Just getting up that head of steam, got the crowd going, and chucked it away.
But it just strikes me that Israel, without trying to be too critical of the crowd, they need them to be noisy the whole time to whip up a bit of a storm, don't they?
Yeah, it helps everyone, there's no doubt about that. You know, it's the adrenaline going, makes you play a quicker pace and tempo. And it dies down again, but it really does deflate you, I think, as players when you keep making those unforced errors.
Ben Shishan looking for a way through on that right-hand side, the youngster, and he's won a corner for his side. Well, there's somebody who's trying to whip the fans up, get them a bit more noisy, but not too many of them are responding, are they? Not at the moment. They're a bit depressed with the way this is going. There was a chance for Toto Tamuz in there with a, he couldn't keep it down.
Not the best of marking. He got in between defenders. Not a clean leap at the ball, wasn't blocked off. Didn't keep his header down.
very happy with development. The travelling Croatian fans, quite a few of them. By the way, the England fans will be gathered away to the left as you look at the pitch when they come here in March. Alberman does well. Afek trying to find his way forward, but a bit dispiriting for Israel, having fought their way back into contention to concede that fourth goal.
Those England fans that will be to the left as you're looking at it behind the goal. We were told that there'll be nearly 5,000 tickets for them, so a generous allocation makes for a good atmosphere.
Kovac got it away from Toto Tomas, who just pulled into a good little area of space for a moment. He's looked bright since he came on. Ben Shushan, here he is again, Toto Tamuz, and then over the bar by Alberman.
He couldn't get his knee down and over that to hit the target. Tamuz has done well. He stayed out on this left-hand side. He's been pacey and direct, and added a bit, I think, to Israel in the second half.
10 minutes to go now, and off goes Eduardo with a hat-trick under his belt, a night he's not going to forget in a long time. And on comes Jelko Leko, a player who played an awful lot in the Champions League for Dynamo Kiev. He's now with Monaco, winning his 43rd cap, Leko. For Luca.
Job done for Eduardo da Silva. Eduardo, as we've been calling him all game, but here he is getting the congratulations down on the line. Super hat-trick. Was helped by some poor defending. So you still have to finish him, and he really did finish them well.
And he'll have to make room in his suitcase ready tomorrow morning for the match ball. I presume they'll give him it.
He's got to get it out the country first, though, Ian, hasn't he?
Need a bit of paperwork for that. Idan Tal picks it up. Leko making the interception, finding the other substitute, Babic. Croatia determined now that there will be no further alarms, but you never know the way this game has gone. If Israel get one more, could be quite a finish. Some of them have seen enough. Looks like the old culture of disaffected fans going home early is not peculiar to the Premier League or English football grounds. This is Afek. Ben Haim. Now Afek again. The Croatians have played a lot of nice football and they've been clinical with their finishing, but they too haven't looked exactly watertight at the back. Toto Tamuz, who looks as if he should have been on from the start. Casey gets a cross in. It was away by Simic. Casey again, that's not such a good cross, and again it's Simic who cuts it out. Modric has it.
He's been my man of the match. I know Eduardo's got a hat-trick, but Modric, I think, has been brilliant in midfield. Fetching, carrying, passing, setting up chances, breaking up other attacks. Good all-round display. They'll be top of the group this evening, Croatia. And going to be tough to dislodge, Ian, aren't they? They've had their panicky moments at the back, but they've looked very, very good when in possession. Always look like they're creating chances aside from the 4 goals that they've scored. Look a very good side, don't they? Very comfortable with this formation that they've got.
Benayoun to Kolauti. Now Toto Tamuz. Good stuff from him. Blocked on the way through from Simic. That's a corner kick. And the 18-year-old has taken the eye here. He's Nigerian born, but his father was a professional here in Israel. He came to live here when he was pretty young. and is qualified, of course, to play for his adopted country. Need a goal here, Israel. Idan Tal. Ben Youssef. Here's Idan Tal again. He was in there. It's played back into the danger area. Toto Tamuz, and that's a tremendous block. It really was by Modric, I think it was, who got in the way of it.
He's captured his display, because that was a great opportunity again. Again, poor marking in that Croatian defence.
Benayoun. Now Tal Benayoun for Bolton Wanderers. A lot of blue shirts in there. Here's Modric again. You're a hard man, you are, Tony Gale. Guy gets a hat-trick, he's not your man of the match.
Hasn't done anything else, though, Ian, has he? Here's the block, look, great block. Really throws his body in. And you can see as the ball set back, it was a nice setback, edge of the area, but look at the marking again. Really poor in the defence, and Modric helps his defence out and gets the block in.
Then Shushan in towards Kalouti. It was a chance. He's headed it down towards the corner, but it's gone wide. And Israel needed that to go in with, what is it, just coming up to 4 minutes to go.
Again, it's just a cross from deep, and there's no marking at all. Simic and Kovac leaving Kalouti to each other. It's a free header. He should do better than that. It's a weak header, and it's wide.
Our man is consoled by the Croatians, who are nearly there. So we've been a bit of a reality check to the Israeli fans, who arrived tonight so full of hope that their side might go top of this group, but it's the Croatians who are going to be on top of it, barring something very dramatic happening late on. Karluka, Niko Kovac, almost a training ground passing routine, and they can afford to do that now. Just keep the ball. This is going to make it 5 unbeaten away games in a row for Croatia.
It's a good record. I think it's a system that endears itself to away games. And also, they proved against England they're very good at home as well, aren't they?
Now Cerna's race is run, and it was a very good race as well. He was a big threat, particularly in the first half. Scored a penalty, posed problems most of the time. And Ivica Olic will replace him. Player plays for CSKA Moscow and featured in both of their recent Champions League games against Arsenal. Ben Shushan crossed in again towards Toto Tamuz, who's put in a great effort in the second half. He really has. And if he's not in the starting lineup for the next one, there might be a question. Now then, there might be problems again here. It was played forward, and just for a moment you wondered whether Israel were going to concede a 5th goal.
Youssef again getting caught out by one ball. Just didn't have a clue where the striker was. In the end, got back and got his tackle in, but...
Just wait a minute, here's Kalouti, and that is another one for Israel, and this, improbably, is 4-3.
Incredible stuff, isn't it, Ian? So lax in defence, Croatia. They're just saying, here, have another chance. Get yourself back in it. Now Israel got to give them one back. You can see breaking down that right-hand side. There's a ball through to Kalouti. Where's the marking? Nowhere. In between 2 or 3 of them, and a good finish. Passes it into the net again.
But is it too late? Maybe not. It's a topsy-turvy game. springs back into life again. Petric at the other end. Taking it in the corner, they want the final whistle. The Croatian defence, which hadn't been breached so far in the group, tonight has been breached 3 times. But they still might go away with the points. If you'd said to Israel beforehand, you're going to get 3 goals tonight, they must surely have thought that would have been worth the win.
To be fair, they've created other chances as well. Just talking about the header before, there it is, look. That as wide as anything, and a good finish.
Terrific finish from Kolauti. 4 internationals for him, 3 goals now. Can they come up with an equaliser? We're playing stoppage time, that's the problem. Ben Shishan, every blue shirt forward, barring Ben Youssef, the defender there.
Should have been a better ball in, a great opportunity to get across him.
Now they've got a chance to put it into the penalty area. Casey was in there, the goalkeeper Runya shouted, "That's mine," and he'll take his time now. Be honest with you, I haven't seen the signal about how much time is being added on. We think it's 3 minutes, I'm told. Thank you. Here's Ben Ayoun. Can Israel somehow pull this out of the fire against all the odds? Ben Ayoun in towards Toto Tamuz.
I've just got to get it into the heart of that defence, because they are at 6s and 7s every time the ball goes in there. Not enough time to fiddle about, just put it in the mixer.
Ben Youssef with a header. Croatia are wobbling a bit now. They want the final whistle. Kolauti, who's on a hat-trick himself. Kolauti, I should say. And that's a bit short, and Ben Youssef has a rescuing job to do here, which he does to help out Tal Ben Haim. But they've just got to gamble now, roll the dice, lump it forward and hope. Kolauti gets the header on, and they've got a free kick here on the edge of the box. Oh, it's gone the other way. It's everybody getting a little carried away, including your commentator.
There's a Kolauti with a leap, and I think Toto Tamuz just takes him off as well. Kovac gets fouled by the pair of them there as he was trying to get under the flight of the ball, and surely this must be it. 4-3, and you think Croatia have been a little bit better than this, but they've always given Israel a chance. They should have really been a little bit more easy with a victory, but what a game in the end.
Yeah, super game here tonight.
One last chance, surely. 20 seconds from now. The whistle will go. Yes, plant it in there.
Last chance. Just not quite long enough. As far as Israel are concerned, the coach hoping beyond hope. This will be the very last opportunity. It's flung in by Ben Ayoun. It's headed away. The referee looks. Tal Ben Haim has a go. And that is the final whistle. Croatia go to the top of the group. They get the win in what's been a thriller here in Tel Aviv tonight. The Israelis taking the lead, then Croatia making it 3-1. It went to 3-2, 4-2, and then Kolauti with his second goal, 4-3. Great game, Croatia top, and that's the final scoreline here in a 7-goal thriller.
Confirmation of what Ian was saying, and Russia beat Macedonia earlier today, 2-0 to take second place. That's England off the top. Remember, top 2 qualify as of right. Coming up, we've got the Republic of Ireland and San Marino. That's our next live match this evening. And much later, 10 o'clock tonight, we've got highlights of England's game in Holland tonight. Israel score 3 goals against Croatia, Trevor, who get 4 of their own, granted. Are they a very good attacking team? Is that why England fell in Croatia? Or are they bad defensively and England should have done better in Croatia?
Well, any team that's scored 13 goals in 4 games, as Croatia have done, are obviously useful going forward. But defensively, they were woeful. And as I said earlier, Richard, it just disappoints me that we never really put them under pressure when we had the opportunity to. And we saw tonight that they've got so many deficiencies defensively, both teams.
And it's Israel next, England's next competitive game, which is over there next March. Should we relish that?
Well, when England see that tape there, I think they'll look forward to going to Tel Aviv, because Israel looked a team that, if they'd come away with a point tonight, it would have been undeserved. Croatia were the better side. Not a great team, but it's a game that England can go there with confidence and win.
Enjoyed it, though. Seven goals for all that. It's the Republic of Ireland next.
Everything you see is interest-free?
Not when you got a few bob on 1-0,
though. Sky Bet. It matters more when there's money on it.
2 mouth-watering games from the Championship. First, tabletop in Cardiff welcome QPR. Then an East Anglian derby as Ipswich face Norwich. In association with Bet365, Friday and Sunday, Sky Sports 1 and HD1.
One stressed-out nurse, plus one gloriously high savings rate of 12% for 1 year, equals 1 week of total bed rest. With our great rate that puts Barclays, HSBC and Abbey all in the shade. Now that's a real plus from Alliance and Leicester. To make much more of your savings with our superb rate of 12% for 1 year. Contact us now.
It's a phenomenon known as déjà vu. It's a phenomenon known as déjà vu. Many believe it's a trick of the mind.
Have we met?
But the truth is far more extraordinary.
What if you had to tell someone the most important thing in the world, but you knew they'd never believe you?
I try.
He has been shown a secret.
We can look anywhere. 4 days in the past.
The government doesn't want you to know.
This is not surveillance. This is the actual past.
Yes.
Wow. Hey, let me ask you something. Is she alive or is she dead?
The key to stopping a disaster.
Brace yourselves. I think you're about to witness a murder.
Starts by solving the mystery of déjà vu.
What if you had to tell someone the most important thing in the world, but you knew they'd never believe you?
I'm trying.
Déjà vu. If you think it's just a feeling, go back and look again.
Time to go.
Captain Jack is back in the biggest movie event of the year.
What about Jack? I can't leave without him. Never mind, let's go.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest on Disney DVD 20th November.
I didn't start out a 10-time world champion. I am the game, Triple H. I started at the bottom and worked my way up.
It's time to unleash the animal! So don't just watch it, live it.
WWE SmackDown vs. Raw 2007. Out now.
He lifted up his arms. I'd never seen anything like it. To hear! I'll never forget the day I met him.
Everyone sweats a bit. It's normal.
I didn't think much of him. In fact, I couldn't stand being around him. And then he found the answer. Now, I really like him.
Lynx Dry. It's more than a deodorant. It's an antiperspirant.
This Friday, there's a colossal Euro Millions jackpot. And £120 million must be won.